Welcome, dear friends, to a tranquil journey through the world of Elden Ring, a place of forgotten legends, untold mysteries, and quiet beauty. This vast and intricate universe, shaped by the hands of From Software and the storytelling of George R. Martin, invites us into the lands between. It is a realm where gods have fallen, where the Elden Ring has shattered, and where the echoes of its past stir with each step you take. Tonight, we will drift through the many wonders and secrets of this breathtaking world, exploring the origins, the characters, and the enigmatic forces that shape this unforgettable game. From the towering golden glow of the Erd tree to the whispers that linger in the dark, there is much to discover and much to rest your mind upon. As you listen, let the rhythm of these words carry you into a gentle slumber, a peaceful surrender to the dreamscape of Elden Ring. Now take a soft breath and feel your body relax into the stillness of this night. Let go of the day's weight and let your thoughts soften like clouds drifting on a calm breeze. The world of Elden Ring awaits, and so does the quiet rest you deserve. And if you enjoy drifting through stories like this, you're welcome to subscribe and softly tell me where you're listening from tonight. Let us now begin our peaceful journey into the first of many quiet facts, drifting slowly into the heart of the lands between. Fact 1. The lands between is a vast, sprawling world full of hidden beauty and danger. It is a land torn by the shattering of the Elden Ring, a place where gods and mortals alike search for meaning in a broken world. The air is thick with mystery, each corner of the land holding untold secrets, forgotten history, and looming dangers. The world is both breathtaking and haunting, where the ruins of once great civilizations lie abandoned and untouched, while the golden light of the mighty Erd tree spreads warmth and light across a world caught in turmoil. Fact 2. The Erd tree, which towers above the lands between, is not merely a tree. It is a living testament to the Elden Ring's power. Its golden glow is a beacon of hope and life, its vast roots stretching deep into the earth and intertwining with the very fabric of existence. The tree's radiance once governed the world, blessing the land with prosperity and growth. However, since the Elden Ring's fracture, the Erd tree's light has dimmed, and its once vibrant branches now seem to hang heavy, weighed down by the world's discord and decay. Fact 3. The Elden Ring itself is not merely an object, but the foundation of existence in the lands between. It is the source of order, law, and power, holding together the very essence of life and death, light and darkness. The ring's shattering, a tragic event, marks the breaking of divine harmony, the collapse of the natural order that once governed the universe. The consequences of the ring's destruction are felt far and wide, and the very balance of the world has shifted, leaving the people of the lands between to pick up the pieces of a fractured reality. Fact 4. In the wake of the shattering, the world has descended into chaos. Gods and demigods, once the custodians of the Elden Ring's power, now find themselves divided. Factions have risen, each seeking to claim a piece of the broken ring's power, while others strive to restore what has been lost. The once unified world is now a battlefield where the forces of order and chaos clash, and the ruins of the past hold the key to what may come. The struggle for control over the ring's fragments is not just a fight for power, but for the very soul of the world. Fact 5. Among the many figures that walk the lands between are the tarnished. outcasts who once had a place in the world but were cast aside. They are called back to the world, drawn by an unseen force to seek out the shattered fragments of the Elden Ring. The Tarnished's journey is one of redemption, as they strive to reclaim their lost glory and forge a new future for themselves and the world. Yet their path is not simple, as they must face not only the fractured world, but also the shadows of their own past. Part 2: The Creation of Elden Ring Fact 6. The creation of Elden Ring is the result of collaboration between the developers at From Software and the legendary writer George R. Martin. Martin, known for his intricate world building in A Song of Ice and Fire, brought his unique storytelling style to the game's deep lore and mythology. His influence is evident in the complexity of the world's history, the divine conflict that drives the plot, and the layers of characters and factions that populate the lands between. Together, From Software and Martin created a world that feels both familiar and entirely new, filled with stories waiting to be uncovered. Fact 7. From Software's signature design philosophy is evident in Elden Ring, where every part of the world is meticulously crafted to evoke a sense of wonder, mystery, and dread. The studio's expertise in creating dark, atmospheric worlds is paired with Martin's intricate narrative to bring the lands between to life. The world feels like it has existed long before the player arrives, with its rich history revealed through subtle details, environmental storytelling, and cryptic lore scattered throughout. It is a world that invites exploration, with each discovery revealing a deeper connection to the larger mythos of the Elden Ring. Fact 8. Elden Ring was designed as an open-world experience, a first for From Software. This new approach allows players to explore the vast, interconnected world at their own pace, uncovering secrets and encountering challenges in any order they choose. The open world brings with it a sense of freedom, as players are no longer bound by a linear path. Instead, they can chart their own course through the dangerous, beautiful, and mysterious landscapes of the lands between, with every turn offering new opportunities for discovery, conflict, and growth. Fact 9. At the heart of the world's creation is the Elden Ring itself, an artifact of unimaginable power that binds the universe together. It is said that the ring's creators infused it with the essence of the gods, making it the source of divine order and law. The ring's power governs everything from the natural world to the heavens, shaping fate itself. Yet, as the ring is shattered, its influence begins to wane, leaving the world in a state of uncertainty. The future of the Elden Ring and the world it created rests in the hands of those brave enough to seek its fragments. Fact 10. The shattering of the Elden Ring was not merely the result of a physical fracture, but the breaking of an age-old cycle that had held the world together for centuries. The ring's power was the foundation upon which the entire world was built, and its destruction marks the end of an era. The gods who once ruled in harmony with the ring now face a world that is unraveling. The lands, once fertile and full of life, are now tainted by the chaos unleashed by the shattering. This event sets the stage for the turmoil and conflict that follows, shaping the fate of the lands between. Fact 11. The Elden Ring's power was meant to govern all things, from the heavens to the earth, from the creatures that walk the lands to the very fabric of time and space. It was a symbol of divine unity, the source of all order and balance. But as the gods grew increasingly divided and sought to claim the ring's power for themselves, the world began to unravel. The shattering marked the breaking of the divine law that had once held everything in place. The world was no longer bound by the Elden Ring's influence, and chaos seeped into every corner of existence. Fact 12. The shattering of the Elden Ring is not just an event in the past, but a defining moment that shapes the world the player explores in Elden Ring. Its repercussions are felt in every part of the land, from the fractured political structures to the decaying environment. The gods, once united under the ring's power, now fight for dominance, each claiming a piece of the shattered ring's power. This fracturing of divine authority sets the stage for the conflict that drives the story, with each character and faction vying for control over the Elden Ring's remnants. Fact 13. The power of the Elden Ring was never meant to be divided. It was created to be whole, its strength drawn from unity. But with the ring's destruction, its fragments were scattered across the world, each piece carrying a part of the divine power that once held everything together. The gods and mortals alike seek these fragments, hoping to restore the ring or use its power for their own purposes. Some believe that the ring must be reforged, while others seek to leave the past behind and create a new world from the ashes of the old one. Fact 14. The shattering also had a profound effect on the people of the lands between. Once, they lived under the protective glow of the Erd tree, guided by the power of the Elden Ring. But with the ring's destruction, the land fell into disarray. The people were left to fend for themselves, their lives thrown into turmoil as the divine law that once governed them collapsed. The world is now a place of strife, where factions rise, fall, and fight for control of what remains of the ring's power. The tarnished, outcasts, and exiles find themselves drawn back to this broken world in search of redemption. Fact 15. Despite the devastation caused by the shattering, there are those who believe that the Elden Ring can still be restored. The idea of reforging the ring, of bringing back the divine order that once ruled the world, is a powerful hope for some. But others see the shattering as a sign that the old ways must be abandoned. The future of the lands between lies in the hands of those who choose to either rebuild the world that was or forge a new path forward, free from the constraints of the past. Fact 16. The tarnished are the central figures of the story, lost souls who have been exiled from the lands between. Drawn back to the world by the shattered Elden Ring, they are called upon to seek out its fragments and restore what was lost. Their journey is one of self-discovery as they come to terms with their past and find their place in a world that has rejected them. The tarnished are not heroes in the traditional sense. They are survivors, each one marked by their own struggles and doubts. Yet they are the ones tasked with changing the fate of the world. Fact 17. Queen Marika the Eternal stands as a monumental figure in the world of Elden Ring. As the divine ruler who once held the power of the Elden Ring, her legacy is both revered and feared. She was not only a queen, but the very embodiment of the ring's divine order. Yet her fate took a tragic turn when the ring was shattered and her role in the world shifted from one of power to one of mystery. Marika's disappearance has left the world in turmoil, and her name is whispered with both respect and sorrow as the world crumbles in the wake of her loss. Fact 18. Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, was the mighty warrior who stood at the pinnacle of power in the lands between. He was once the protector of the Elden Ring and the divine figurehead of the Golden Order. Yet even Godfrey could not escape the tides of fate. His fall from grace, marked by his exile from the lands between, is a poignant reminder of the fragility of power. Though he is no longer present, his influence remains, casting a long shadow over the world he once ruled. His absence symbolizes the dissolution of the old order and the chaos that followed. Fact 19. Radagon, a god in his own right, is a character shrouded in mystery and tragedy. His relationship with Queen Marika is one of complexity, bound by love, conflict, and shared ambition. Radagon's role in this shattering is significant, as his actions contributed to the ring's fracture. His pursuit of power and his complex decisions, which blur the lines between good and evil, leave a legacy of both destruction and divine intrigue. As the world falls apart, Radagon's name becomes a symbol of the destructive forces that drove the gods to betray the very laws they had once upheld. Fact 20. Rani the Witch is a character who rejects the preordained path laid out by the gods. She is a figure of rebellion, intellect, and magic, and her journey is one of defiance against the established order. Rani's motivations are far from selfish. Rather, she seeks to reshape the world in her own image, free from the constraints of the divine laws that once governed the world. She stands as a symbol of independence, showing that true power often comes from choosing one's own destiny, even if it means challenging the very forces that shaped the world's creation. Fact 21. Morgoth, the Omen King, is a tragic figure, born of a cursed lineage that marks him as both royal and outcast. His appearance, twisted by the curse of the Omen, causes him to be feared and despised by many, despite his strength and position as king. Morgoth's existence reflects the deep divide in the world of Elden Ring, where beauty and monstrosity, power and rejection coexist. His reign is marked by bitterness and resentment, as he struggles with his identity and the legacy of the gods. Morgoth is not just a king, but a symbol of a world that judges and marginalizes those who do not conform. Fact 22. Malenia, Blade of Miquella, is one of the most formidable warriors in the lands between. Her beauty and grace in combat are unmatched, but they come with the weight of a tragic curse. Malenia has been afflicted by a disease that slowly consumes her, but she continues to fight, driven by her fierce loyalty to her brother, Miquella. Her strength, despite her illness, makes her a symbol of perseverance and the complexity of the world's characters. Malenia's journey is one of both suffering and defiance, as she battles not only external enemies, but also the ravages of her own body. Fact 23. Blood, the half-wolf, is a loyal warrior with a fierce heart, known for his deep bond with Rani the Witch. Despite his wolfish appearance, Blade is a figure of honor and courage, whose path is one of unwavering loyalty. He roams the lands between in search of purpose, and his journey is one of inner conflict, as he strives to understand his place in a world that views him as both beast and hero. Blade's story is one of companionship, sacrifice, and the quiet strength that comes from following a cause, even when that cause leads into the shadows. Fact 24. Fia, the deathbed companion, represents the themes of mortality and the fragility of life. She is a mysterious figure, offering comfort to those who are on the brink of death. Her role in the story is to guide lost souls, helping them find peace in a world where death has become a constant presence. Fia's character is one of compassion as she seeks to offer solace to those who have lost everything. Yet her presence also raises questions about the nature of life and death in the lands between, where the lines between the two are often blurred. Fact 25. Patches, the trickster, is a figure who adds both levity and danger to the world of Elden Ring. His unpredictable nature makes him both a source of comic relief and a potential threat, as he is known for his ability to deceive and betray those who trust him. Despite his mischievous behavior, Patches plays a key role in guiding the player, offering valuable resources and assistance when least expected. His relationship with the Tarnished is one of both distrust and reliance, as his tricks often lead to moments of revelation. Patches embodies the idea that in the lands between, nothing is ever quite as it seems. Fact 26. The Golden Order is the divine law that governs the lands between, a system of beliefs and principles created by the gods. It is the structure upon which the entire world was built, ensuring balance and order. The Golden Order represents a divine hierarchy where the gods reign supreme and all other beings must follow their laws. It is a force of both creation and control, maintaining the balance between light and dark, life and death, but also enforcing a rigid structure that can feel suffocating to those who do not fit within its confines. Fact 27. At the heart of the Golden Order is the Elden Ring itself, the source of the god's power and the foundation upon which all of existence is built. The Elden Ring represents divine will, its power shaping the world and its laws. When the ring is shattered, the Golden Order begins to crumble, and the once solid foundation of the world begins to unravel. The shattering of the Elden Ring marks the collapse of the divine structure, leaving the world in chaos. The Golden Order's fall is a symbol of both the fragility of divine power and the inevitable cycles of destruction and rebirth. Fact 28. The Church of the Golden Order is one of the most influential institutions in the lands between. It is devoted to the worship of the Elden Ring and the divine laws that govern the world. The Church's teachings uphold the Golden Order, spreading its doctrines across the lands and guiding the people to adhere to the divine will. The Church sees itself as the protector of divine truth, and its priests are viewed as the intermediaries between the gods and mortals. However, as the world becomes fractured, the Church's authority begins to wane, and its teachings are challenged by those who question the righteousness of the Golden Order. Fact 29. The Golden Order is not just a religious institution, but a political one as well. It governs the relationships between gods, demigods, and mortals, establishing a rigid hierarchy where the powerful rule over the weak. The gods who created the Golden Order are the ultimate rulers, their will dictating every aspect of life in the lands between. However, as the shattering occurs, the once strong grip of the Golden Order begins to loosen. Factions rise to challenge the gods' authority, and the world becomes a place of rebellion and upheaval where the old order is questioned and the future remains uncertain. Fact 30. The tension between law and freedom is a core theme of the Golden Order. Its strict adherence to divine law offers stability and order, but it also stifles individuality and personal freedom. For many, the Golden Order represents a necessary force that keeps chaos at bay, while for others, it is a prison that forces them to conform to a system they do not believe in. The struggle to balance the need for order with the desire for freedom is a conflict that shapes the lives of those living in the lands between, and it is one that will ultimately determine the future of the world. Fact 31. The Erd Tree is not just a majestic presence in the lands between, it is the very heart of the world. Towering over the land, its golden light once guided the people, symbolizing divine order and the power of the Elden Ring. The Erd tree's roots stretch deep into the earth, intertwining with the land's very soul, while its branches reach high into the heavens, connecting the mortal realm with the divine. To stand beneath its boughs is to feel the weight of its ancient power, and yet, since the shattering of the Elden Ring, its glow has begun to fade, as if mourning the world's fractured state. Fact 32. The Erd tree's role in the world is tied directly to the Elden Ring's power. As the Elden Ring is broken, so too does the vitality of the Erd tree begin to wane. The once vibrant tree, which symbolized life and prosperity, now stands as a somber reminder of what has been lost. The golden glow that once illuminated the world has dimmed, leaving the tree to slowly wither in the wake of the shattering. Its branches, once a symbol of hope, now appear heavy, burdened by the weight of the world's sorrow and the fractured state of the universe. Fact 33. While the Erd tree's fading light is a clear sign of the world's decay, it is also a symbol of the cyclical nature of life and death. Even in its deterioration, the tree remains a place of reverence, a reminder of the delicate balance that once existed. The Erd tree is both a symbol of life and death, a tree that grows from the earth, drawing sustenance from it, and eventually returns to the soil, nourishing the land once again. Its power, while diminished, still holds sway over the lands between, and its eventual fate is intertwined with the destiny of the tarnished who seek to restore the Elden Ring. Fact 34. The mysteries surrounding the Erd tree go beyond its role as a divine beacon. Many wonder about the origins of the tree itself, how it came to be so vast and powerful. Some believe that the Erd tree is as old as the gods themselves, a creation born of the Elden Ring's divine will. Others speculate that it may be a remnant of a time before the gods, a symbol of an ancient force that predates the current divine order. As the Erd tree's light fades, these questions grow louder, echoing in the minds of those who wander the broken world, seeking answers in the shadows of the tree's once glorious presence. Fact 35. The Erd tree's connection to the land is profound, its roots extending far beneath the surface of the earth. Those roots are said to be the lifeblood of the world, connecting the Erd tree to the very foundation of existence. The land that surrounds the tree is rich with the essence of life, fertile and teeming with creatures, plants, and energy that flows from the Erd tree itself. As the tree withers, however, so too does the land. The once bountiful fields are now scarred, the once vibrant flora dying in the absence of the Erd tree's power. The land itself is beginning to lose its connection to the divine force that once sustained it. Fact 36. Within the shadow of the Erd tree lies a rich history of the gods, their followers, and the many creatures who have been drawn to its presence over the ages. The tree has seen the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of gods, and the unfolding of countless stories. It is said that many of the gods' power was drawn from the Erd tree, and its branches served as a conduit for their divine influence. As the shattering broke the Elden Ring, the Erd tree's divine connection faltered, and with it, the world began to slip into an age of uncertainty and strife. Fact 37. The Erd tree is not only a symbol of divine power, but also a site of great significance for the people who live in its shadow. Pilgrims from across the lands between have traveled to the tree, seeking solace, enlightenment, or divine favor. The tree has long been a place of worship, where the faithful gather to offer their prayers and hopes for a better future. The tree's radiance, once a sign of the god's blessing, is now a memory of a bygone era. Yet even in its fading light, the Erd tree still holds a sense of reverence, a place where those who seek redemption come to reflect on the past and the uncertain future ahead. Fact 38. Beneath the Erd tree lies a complex web of roots and hidden chambers, which have long been the subject of mystery and legend. These underground realms are said to hold the secrets of the gods, their ancient rites, and the forgotten truths of the world. Some believe that the roots of the Erd tree contain the very essence of life itself, while others see them as the path to unlocking the deeper mysteries of the world. The roots are both a source of power and a reminder of the earth's inherent connection to the divine, a bond that has been weakened by the shattering, but not entirely lost. Fact 39. As the Erd tree's light fades, many begin to fear what might lie beyond the tree's looming shadow. Some believe that the Erd tree's decline signals the end of the world, that the once great tree will eventually crumble and take the world with it. Others, however, see the tree's decay as a necessary part of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The idea that the Erd tree must fall in order for something new to emerge is a powerful one, offering a glimmer of hope in a world otherwise consumed by loss. Yet the unknown is always a source of fear, and the future remains uncertain. Fact 40. The tarnished, those drawn back to the lands between, find themselves constantly drawn to the Erd tree, its fading glow a reminder of both the past and the potential for the future. The tree holds the key to the Elden Ring's restoration, yet its power is no longer what it once was. The Tarnished's journey is, in many ways, a search for the Erd tree's lost light. To restore the ring is to restore the tree, and by extension, the world itself. Yet this task is fraught with danger, as the land itself is now divided, and those who seek the ring's power are many, each with their own motives. Fact 41. The Great Cataclysm is the defining event that reshaped the world of Elden Ring, marking the fracture of the Elden Ring itself and the chaos that followed. It was an event of cosmic proportions, a rupture that sent ripples through time and space. The once unified world was split into pieces, both physically and spiritually. The gods, once harmonious in their rule, were torn apart by their conflicting desires. The very nature of existence seemed to shudder, and the world, once bathed in the glow of the Erd tree, now stands fractured and vulnerable, struggling to find its balance. Fact 42. In the wake of the Great Cataclysm, the world was left in ruins. The Elden Ring, the force that once governed life, death, and divine law, shattered into fragments, scattering its power across the lands. This marked the beginning of an age of darkness and conflict, as different factions vied for control over the Elden Ring's remnants. The once peaceful landscape became a battlefield where gods, demigods, and mortals clashed in pursuit of the ring's power. The cataclysm was not just an event, but a cataclysmic shift in the very fabric of the world, leaving it broken and lost in time. Fact 43. The rise of the demigods after the Great Cataclysm brought both a sense of hope and dread to the lands. The demigods, born of gods and mortals, possess both divine power and mortal frailty, making them beings of both incredible strength and vulnerability. With the shattering of the Elden Ring, the demigods saw an opportunity to seize power for themselves, each seeking control over a fragment of the broken ring. Their rise to power shifted the balance of the world as they filled the void left by the fallen gods and claimed their own territories, each more isolated and divided than the last. Fact 44. The demigods are not simply rulers, they are also symbols of the world's fractured state. Their existence reflects the division that now defines the lands between. Once, the gods ruled in unity under the Elden Ring's power, but the cataclysm tore that unity apart. The demigods, now competing for dominance, embody the brokenness of the world. Each one represents a piece of the divine and a part of the ring's lost power. As they wage their wars against one another, they become a reflection of the internal conflict that has consumed the world, divided, lost, and desperate for meaning. Fact 45. The Great Cataclysm's aftermath left the world in a state of ruin, but it also birthed new possibilities. The fragments of the Elden Ring, scattered across the land, became objects of desire for both gods and mortals alike. As the demigods rose to power, they each claimed a piece of the shattered ring, hoping to restore it or to use its power to carve out their own vision of the future. But the ring's power was not easily controlled, and each piece that was claimed brought with it both immense strength and peril as the land became more fractured with each new conquest. Fact 46. The demigods, in their struggle for dominance, created powerful kingdoms, each ruled by the influence of the Elden Ring's fragments. These kingdoms are as diverse as the demigods themselves, each reflecting the personality and ambition of its ruler. Some kingdoms are steeped in beauty and divine power, while others are corrupted, twisted by the very force they seek to control. The demigods rule with an iron hand, but their reigns are not without challenges. They face constant threats from one another, as well as from the ever-present decay of the world around them, as the Elden Ring's power continues to fragment. Fact 47. Among the demigods, there are those whose ambition extends beyond mere dominion over the lands. These demigods seek to restore the Elden Ring to its original form, believing that its restoration will bring about a new age of divine order. They view the shattering not as an irreversible loss, but as a necessary step towards something greater. These demigods are not content with ruling over what remains. They seek to rebuild what was broken, to forge a new path that will restore the harmony that once existed. However, their goals often place them at odds with other factions, leading to further conflict. Fact 48. The rise of the demigods also brought about a resurgence of conflict between the mortal realm and the divine. The demigods, while born of both gods and humans, often see themselves as superior to mortals, and their rule is marked by a sense of divine entitlement. The common folk, once protected under the rule of the Elden Ring's power, now find themselves caught in the middle of a power struggle between these godlike beings. The demigods' ambitions often lead to the suffering of the mortals, who are left to endure the consequences of the war between gods and their fractured progeny. Fact 49. As the demigods vie for control of the Elden Ring's pieces, the world around them begins to reflect the damage caused by their battles. The lands are scarred, Cities have fallen into ruin, and entire civilizations have been lost to time. The once vibrant world is now a place of shadows and desolation where the echoes of the past can still be heard, but they are fading. The world's very soul has been torn apart by the shattering and the subsequent rise of the demigods. Yet, despite the devastation, there are those who continue to hope that a way forward can still be found. Fact 50. The tarnished, those cast aside by the gods, now find themselves at the heart of this conflict. Though once exiled from the lands between, the tarnished are called back by an unseen force, drawn to the remnants of the Elden Ring's power. Their journey is one of both redemption and discovery, as they seek to restore the ring or forge a new future for the world. The tarnished are neither gods nor mortals, but something in between, a reflection of the broken world they must navigate. Their role in the rise of the demigods and the future of the lands between remains uncertain. Fact 51. The tarnished are the outcasts of the lands between, once exiled from the world for reasons lost to time. They have returned now, drawn back to the broken world by a mysterious force, their mission unclear but undeniably important. Though they are not gods, nor fully human, the tarnished stand between these two worlds, a bridge between divinity and mortality. Their journey is one of rediscovery, not just of the Elden Ring, but of themselves. They must seek redemption, piece together their fragmented past, and decide what role they will play in a world teetering on the edge of ruin. Fact 52. The return of the tarnished is no coincidence. In a world where the gods and demigods fight over the remnants of the Elden Ring, the tarnished are both a reminder of the past and a glimmer of hope for the future. These outcasts are not beholden to the same divine laws that govern the gods or their descendants. They are free from the constraints of the Golden Order, making them uniquely positioned to alter the course of the world. Their power may be less than that of the gods, but their potential to change the world is as boundless as the lands they walk. Fact 53. The tarnished are marked by their lack of a clear origin. Exiled, forgotten, and forsaken, they return with little memory of their past, which leaves them both free and vulnerable. Their journey is one of self-discovery, where they must piece together the broken fragments of their identity. The loss of memory, once seen as a curse, now becomes a source of strength. For without the burden of the past, the tarnished are unshackled from the expectations placed upon them by the gods and the world. This blank slate allows them to carve their own destiny, free from the shadow of divine law. Fact 54. Though the tarnished come from all walks of life, they share one thing in common. They have been rejected by the world they now seek to redeem. Cast aside and forgotten, they now face a choice: to return to the lands they once knew, or to forge a new path, guided by their own will. This journey is not one of simple power or glory, but of the heart. The tarnished must decide whether to restore the Elden Ring, to break it entirely, or to let the world remain fractured. The fate of the lands between rests in their hands. Fact 55. The tarnished, while strong and determined, are not invincible. They face challenges on their journey that test both their physical and emotional strength. The world of Elden Ring is unforgiving, and the path of the tarnished is filled with peril. Yet it is through these trials that the tarnished find their true purpose. Each challenge they face is an opportunity for growth, a chance to prove themselves, not only to the gods, but also to themselves. The journey of the tarnished is one of transformation, where each victory is hard earned, and every step taken brings them closer to understanding their true role in this fractured world. Fact 56. One of the most defining characteristics of the tarnished is their connection to the Elden Ring. Though they are outcasts, they are drawn to the remnants of the ring, seeking to either restore or destroy its power. The Tarnished's connection to the Elden Ring is not just a physical one, but a spiritual one. They are bound to the ring's fate, just as the world is bound to them. The task before them is monumental, yet it is one they must face head on. The Elden Ring's restoration or destruction hinges on the choices of the Tarnished, who alone can decide its fate. Fact 57. The Tarnished are often seen as the last hope for the world, as they are the only beings capable of bridging the gap between gods and mortals. While the gods and demigods are consumed by their own power struggles, the Tarnished are free from such distractions. They are not bound by the divine laws that govern the gods, nor do they seek to conquer or dominate. Their mission is to restore balance to the world, not through force, but through understanding. They must navigate the fractured landscape, finding the fragments of the Elden Ring and deciding whether to heal or leave the world to its own fate. Fact 58. The Tarnished's journey is not only one of physical trials, but one of moral and philosophical challenges. Throughout their quest, they will encounter those who seek power for their own gain, those who wish to restore the world to its former glory, and those who would see the entire system destroyed. The Tarnished must navigate these conflicting ideologies, deciding what kind of world they wish to create. Their choices will determine not only the fate of the Elden Ring, but the future of the lands between. In this fractured world, the Tarnished's choices are the key to restoring or reshaping the world's destiny. Fact 59. As the Tarnished move through the lands between, they encounter various factions and individuals who each have their own view on what should be done with the Elden Ring's fragments. Some believe that the ring must be reforged to restore the Golden Order, while others believe it should be destroyed to bring about a new age of freedom. The Tarnished are caught between these factions, with no clear ally or enemy. Their path is one of careful decision-making, as each choice they make will alter the course of their journey and the world itself. Fact 60. The ultimate fate of the Tarnished is not predetermined. Their journey is one of choice, and the outcome of their quest lies entirely in their hands. They may choose to restore the Elden Ring, rebuilding the world according to the old laws and bringing about a new era of divine rule. Or they may choose to shatter the ring completely, breaking the cycle of divine control and forging a new future. The Tarnished are not simply adventurers, they are the key to the future, holding the power to reshape the world in their own image. Fact 61. The lands between is a vast and varied world, each region steeped in its own history, culture, and mysteries. From the golden fields beneath the Erd tree to the dark, forgotten corners of the shaded lands, the environment shapes the story as much as the characters within it. The contrast between light and shadow is not merely symbolic, but a reflection of the world's fractured state. As the Tarnished journey through these lands, they encounter both beauty and decay, a constant reminder of what was lost and what might still be reclaimed. The environment itself is a story waiting to be uncovered. Fact 62: the rolling plains surrounding the Erd tree are bathed in soft golden light, a peaceful and serene environment that speaks of the world's former glory. This is where life once thrived, and the earth was fertile and rich. Now, however, this land is scarred, the once vibrant fields becoming overrun with creatures that now call this place home. The beauty of these plains has not disappeared entirely, but it is fading, worn down by time in the aftermath of the shattering. Yet, even in its decay, the land holds a quiet promise of renewal, a glimpse of what once was and what could be again. Fact 63: the forests of the lands between are as ancient as the world itself, their towering trees rooted deep in the earth. These wooded realms are home to creatures both magical and mortal, and their deep shadows conceal many secrets. The air is thick with the scent of moss and earth, and the whisper of leaves moving in the wind carries the voices of long forgotten stories. The forests, while beautiful, are also places of danger, with hidden dangers lying in wait beneath the thick canopies. Yet, it is within these forests that the tarnished may find some of the most valuable answers they seek. Fact 64: the crumbling Farum Azula, a realm that floats high above the ground, is one of the most surreal and haunting environments in Elden Ring. This once great city now hangs precariously in the sky, its buildings crumbling and shattered, with the remnants of a once grand civilization scattered across the floating islands. The atmosphere here is thick with the weight of forgotten history, and the very air feels heavy with the remnants of the past. It is a place that defies the laws of nature, where the past's glory collides with the present's ruin, and where the tarnished can find pieces of a shattered world. Fact 65: the volcanic regions of the lands between are a stark contrast to the calm beauty of the plains and forests. These lands are harsh, filled with molten rivers and ash-choked skies. The heat is overwhelming, and the ground is cracked, revealing the raw power of the earth beneath. The volcanic environment is as much a test of survival as it is a place of exploration, with dangerous creatures lurking in the shadows of the molten landscape. Yet in the harshness of this land, there is beauty, the stark, burning red of the skies, the glow of the lava, and the heat that mirrors the world's turmoil. Fact 66: the coastal shores of the lands between, kissed by the restless sea, present yet another contrast to the landlocked regions. The rhythmic crashing of waves against jagged rocks brings a sense of calm, yet the sea is not without its dangers. The waters are deep and unpredictable, hiding creatures both ancient and unknown beneath its surface. The shores are dotted with ancient ruins, remnants of civilizations that once thrived by the sea's edge. The salt in the air, the chill of the wind, and the distant cries of seabirds all combine to create an atmosphere of haunting solitude and lost memories. Fact 67: the underground realms of the lands between are a dark, mysterious part of the world, hidden far beneath the surface. These caverns and tunnels wind deep into the earth, where the light of the Erd tree's glow is but a distant memory. The underground is a place of both danger and discovery, where forgotten creatures dwell and the ruins of ancient societies lie in wait. The air is thick and damp, and the silence is oppressive. Yet within this silence, there are whispers, the echoes of a world that existed long before the current age, offering secrets that could change the fate of the world above. Fact 68: the desert wastes of the lands between are a place of solitude and isolation, where the heat of the sun bears down relentlessly upon the barren sand. The land is dry, with little vegetation to break up the endless stretches of golden dunes. Yet beneath the harshness of this landscape lies a strange beauty. The sand itself seems to shift, creating waves of motion, while ancient ruins rise from the earth like silent sentinels, telling the stories of long forgotten kingdoms. The desert is a place of reflection, where the winds carry the weight of time, and where those who walk it must confront the harsh truths of the world. Fact 69. The ruins scattered across the lands between serve as a silent testament to the world's once great civilizations, now fallen into decay. These ruins are not just physical structures, but the remnants of a forgotten history, each stone and broken pillar carrying the weight of past lives. As the tarnished pass through these ruins, they are reminded of the fragility of existence. The world, once united by the Elden Ring, now lies in pieces, and the ruins are silent witnesses to the rise and fall of gods, kings, and empires. In these quiet, desolate places, the past lingers, waiting to be rediscovered. Fact 70. The night sky of the lands between is a tapestry of stars, their light shining down on a world both beautiful and broken. The sky holds an ethereal beauty, with constellations that tell stories of gods, heroes, and ancient battles. Yet the night is not without its dangers. Creatures that only emerge in the dark roam the lands, their eyes glowing in the moonlight, their presence a reminder that not all that exists in the shadows is peaceful. The night sky is both a guide and a threat, its vastness echoing the uncertainty that permeates the world of Elden Ring. Fact 71. As the day fades into twilight, the lands between transform. The once familiar landscapes take on a new, eerie quality under the veil of darkness. The golden light of the Urge Tree dims, and the world becomes a place of shadows where the lines between reality and dreams blur. The night holds its own mysteries, where ancient forces stir and creatures of the dark awaken. The tarnished, with their keen senses and resolve, must navigate this shadowed world, aware that danger lurks just beyond the reach of the moonlight. The secrets of the night are as deep and unsettling as the land itself. Fact 72. The creatures that roam the night are not the same as those that walk the world by day. In the dark, the creatures of Elden Ring take on a more terrifying form, emerging from the shadows and hiding in the spaces between the known world. These beings, twisted by the night's influence, are often more dangerous, their movements silent and their eyes glowing with otherworldly power. Whether it is the great beasts that stalk the land or the smaller, more insidious creatures that dwell in the dark corners, the night in the lands between is filled with danger and unknown threats. Fact 73. The night sky over the lands between is a thing of wonder and terror. Beneath the vast expanse of stars, the moon casts its pale light on a world of contrasts. The constellations themselves seem to shift, moving like living things, telling stories of forgotten gods and battles long past. Yet the moon's glow is not always a comforting presence. There are those who believe the stars and the moon are linked to the Elden Ring's mysterious power, that their movements might offer clues to its restoration or destruction. In the quiet of the night, the sky whispers secrets, awaiting those who will listen. Fact 74. Nighttime is when the true power of the Elden Ring's remnants begins to emerge. The forces of magic, once held in balance by the ring's power, now surge in unpredictable ways under the moon's influence. Strange, arcane rituals take place in the darkness, where sorcerers and spellcasters seek to harness the raw energy of the world. The night is their domain, and it is when the most dangerous of magic is practiced. The tarnished, caught between the realms of gods and mortals, must contend with these powers, which can either help them on their quest or lead them down a path of ruin. Fact 75. The shadows of the night are not merely physical, but spiritual. The darkness of the world holds memories of all that has been lost. The souls of the departed wander the night, lingering in the world like restless spirits. These souls, once part of the world's grand design, now drift aimlessly, unable to find peace. The tarnished in their journey may encounter these souls, offering them the chance for redemption or a final resting place. But not all of these spirits are friendly, and some may seek to drag the living into the depths of despair, taking them with them into the eternal night. Fact 76. The night is also a time when forgotten places come to life. Ancient ruins and long abandoned fortresses bathed in the ghostly glow of moonlight. These places, once centers of power and life, now lie in ruin, overrun with creatures of the night and haunted by memories of those who once lived there. The tarnished may find themselves wandering through these eerie spaces, uncovering lost artifacts, long forgotten magic, and clues that lead them closer to the heart of the Elden Ring's mystery. But these places are not without peril. What remains of the past is often dangerous and unwilling to be disturbed. Fact 77. In the darkest corners of the lands between, the night holds a deeper, more sinister secret. The creatures that rule the shadows are not always of this world. There are whispers of ancient gods, forgotten deities that linger in the darkness, their presence only faintly felt in the stillness of the night. These beings, once worshipped and feared, now wait in silence, watching the world from the edges of reality. Some believe that the night itself is their domain, a place where they hold dominion, manipulating the world's events in subtle ways. To encounter one of these entities is to come face to face with the unknown. Fact 78. The night is when the world's boundaries seem to blur, and the veil between the living and the dead grows thin. In these moments, the forces of the Elden Ring's power are at their most unstable, and the very fabric of reality seems to shudder. The tarnished, drawn to the broken pieces of the ring, may find themselves caught in the space between the living world and the shadowy realms that lie beyond. These moments, filled with eerie silence, hold the potential for both discovery and danger, as the night offers both refuge and risk for those brave enough to wander in its depths. Fact 79. The creatures of the night are not the only beings who move in the shadows. The sorcerers and magicians of the lands between, who harness the mystical energies of the world, are often at their most powerful under the cover of darkness. Many seek to unlock the hidden knowledge and secrets that lie buried in the night, performing rituals in the dead of night to summon forces that could change the course of history. The night, it seems, is a time when all things hidden come to light, or are buried deeper still, concealed by those who seek power at any cost. Fact 80. The night also reveals the true nature of the Elden Ring's influence over the world. In the silence of the darkness, the fractured remnants of the ring's power begin to manifest in strange, unexpected ways. These moments are often fleeting, like whispers in the wind or fleeting glimpses of something long forgotten. Some believe that the world's true fate can only be understood in the quiet of the night, where the gods' secrets are revealed to those who are willing to listen. The tarnished, in their search for the truth, may find that the answers they seek lie not in the day's light, but in the world's deepest shadows. Fact 81. The world of Elden Ring is populated not only by gods and mortals, but by creatures of legend, beasts that inhabit the fringes of the known world, where the realms of reality and myth intertwine. These mythical beasts, both fearsome and awe inspiring, embody the primal forces of nature that once stood in harmony with the divine order. Now, with the Elden Ring shattered, they have become symbols of the world's instability, their power unbridled and unpredictable. The tarnished, who seek the truth of the world, will find that the path to understanding is often guarded by these ancient and mystical creatures. Fact 82. The dragons of Elden Ring are among the most revered and feared of all the mythical beasts. These creatures, ancient and powerful, once roamed freely across the world, their wings casting shadows over the lands below. Their breath could melt stone, and their presence was both a blessing and a curse. The dragon's connection to the Elden Ring's power is profound, with many believing they were once the guardians of the divine order, embodiments of the god's will. However, since the shattering, their role has become unclear, and they now exist as a reminder of a lost age, their once immense power now fading. Fact 83. The giants, too, are ancient creatures that embody the raw power of the world. Towering above the lands, these colossal beings once served as protectors and laborers, shaping the world with their immense strength. They were closely tied to the Elden Ring's divine order, their purpose intertwined with the will of the gods. But with the fall of the ring, the giants' once guided purpose has become a burden. Some still roam the world, their once unified clans now broken and scattered, lost in a world that no longer understands their purpose. For the tarnished, these giants are both obstacles and mysteries, their past intertwined with the fate of the world. Fact 84. The wolves of Elden Ring, much like the other creatures that roam the lands, have a deep connection to the natural world. These beasts, both revered and feared, are the embodiment of the wild and untamed forces that exist outside the reach of the gods. In the darkness of the night, the wolves move silently through the forests, their eyes glowing with the knowledge of ancient, forgotten ways. They are creatures of instinct, guided by the rhythms of nature itself, and they offer both challenge and guidance to the tarnished, who must navigate their way through the world's deepest wilderness. Fact 85. The gods of Elden Ring are not merely divine rulers, but complex, multifaceted beings, each embodying different aspects of the world and the cosmos. Some gods represent the natural order, while others embody the more chaotic forces that govern the world's creation and destruction. Each god holds sway over certain domains, and their influence can be felt in every part of the lands between. Yet, these gods are not infallible. Many have fallen from grace, their power diminished or corrupted by the very forces they sought to control. The tarnished must navigate a world where the god's presence is both a blessing and a curse. Fact 86. The influence of the greater gods is especially felt in the Erd tree, the divine heart of the world, which is said to be the center of all life in the lands between. The Erd tree's golden radiance is a manifestation of the god's power and its roots reach deep into the earth, connecting the divine with the mortal. However, since the shattering, the god's connection to the Erd tree has weakened, and its once brilliant light has begun to fade. The divine order, which once held the world in balance, is now in question, and the tarnished must decide whether to restore the ring and bring back the gods, or let the world break free of their influence. Fact 87. One of the most enigmatic beings of Elden Ring is the god of death, an entity whose true nature remains hidden from all but the most devoted followers. This god is a figure of both reverence and fear, as their power governs the transition between life and death. In the wake of the Elden Ring's fracture, the god of death's power has become unpredictable, and the boundaries between life and death have grown thin. The tarnished may encounter this deity in their travels, offering them the chance to understand the mysteries of the afterlife and the role that death plays in the eternal cycles of the world. Fact 88. The gods of Elden Ring are often seen as detached, their divine wills shaping the world from a distance. Yet there are those who rebel against the gods' authority, seeking to reshape the world according to their own vision. These rebellious beings, often demigods or mortals with great ambition, challenge the gods' established order, seeking to break free of the divine chains that bind them. These figures are not mere enemies to be defeated, but symbols of the world's desire for change, representing both the potential for growth and the inevitable chaos that comes with rejecting divine rule. Fact 89. The mythic beasts and the gods, though powerful, are not immune to the forces that shape the world. Many have fallen or been corrupted by the shattering of the Elden Ring. Some, like the ancient dragons, have retreated into the depths, their once great civilizations destroyed. Others, like the gods themselves, have become fractured and weakened, their divine influence diminishing as the world falls into chaos. The tarnished, in their search for the Elden Ring's fragments, will encounter these broken beings who have been shaped by the same forces that have fractured the world and whose fates are now entwined with that of the tarnished. Fact 90. Some of the greatest battles in the history of Elden Ring have been fought between the gods and the mythical beasts that roamed the world before the rise of the divine order. These ancient conflicts were not merely about power, but about the very essence of existence. The gods sought to impose order on a world that was wild and untamed, while the beasts fought to preserve the chaos that they believed was the true nature of the world. The echoes of these battles still resonate in the world, and the tarnished will find that the struggles of the past are never truly over. Fact 91. The journey of the tarnished is one of both isolation and connection. Though they walk a path laden with challenges, they are not without companions. Some allies join the tarnished willingly, while others are drawn to their cause out of necessity or shared purpose. These allies come in many forms. Some are mortal, others are divine or spectral, but each has a role to play in the tarnished's journey. In a world fractured by the shattering of the Elden Ring, these alliances are fragile, formed in the shadows of a world where trust is both a gift and a burden. Fact 92. One of the most memorable allies the tarnished may encounter is Blad, the half-wolf warrior. Blad's loyalty to Rani the Witch is unwavering, and his journey is closely tied to hers. Despite his intimidating appearance, he embodies a sense of honor and duty that transcends his beastly form. Blad's connection to the tarnished is one of mutual respect, for both share the same mission to restore what has been broken in the world. Bled's strength and his understanding of the world's darker, hidden aspects make him an invaluable companion, though his loyalty is tested as much as his resolve. Fact 93. Another key ally for the Tarnished is Fia, the deathbed companion, whose role is as complex as the world she inhabits. Fia represents both the end and the passage to the next realm. She offers comfort to those who are on the brink of death, guiding them into the afterlife. Her allegiance to the Tarnished is rooted in a shared understanding of mortality, and she is a guide for those who seek to uncover the mysteries of the Elden Ring's power. Fia's presence is both soothing and somber, as her journey, too, is intertwined with the larger fate of the world. Fact 94. Ronnie the Witch is one of the Tarnished's most enigmatic and powerful allies. She is a figure of great intelligence and independence, rejecting the divine laws that have bound the world for so long. Ronnie's rebellion against the gods is both an act of defiance and a pursuit of greater knowledge. She seeks to reshape the world, to carve out a new future where the gods no longer hold dominion over the mortal realm. Her connection to the Tarnished is one of mutual benefit, though Ronnie's ultimate goals are shrouded in mystery. She is a key figure in the Tarnished's journey, though their paths may diverge depending on the choices made. Fact 95. Despite the many allies the Tarnished may find, the world is also filled with powerful foes. These enemies come in many forms. Some are gods or demigods, while others are twisted creatures born from the very chaos of the shattering. These foes represent the forces that seek to keep the world in its fractured state, preventing the Tarnished from fulfilling their mission. Whether it is the fearsome Morgoth, the Omen King, or the tragic Millennia, Blade of Miquella, these enemies are embodiments of the world's darkness, each one challenging the Tarnished in their quest for redemption. Fact 96. The demigods are perhaps the most formidable of the Tarnished's foes. Each one is a ruler in their own right, wielding immense power, and each has their own vision for the future of the world. Some seek to restore the Elden Ring to its former glory, while others wish to carve out their own dominion. These demigods are not easily swayed by the Tarnished's pleas or actions. They are warriors in their own right, driven by their own desires and ambitions. The Tarnished must face these formidable beings in battle, often questioning the very nature of their goals and the world they are fighting to restore. Fact 97. The forces of the night, those creatures that lurk in the shadows, are also among the Tarnished's greatest enemies. These dark beings, often twisted by the shattering, are the manifestations of the chaos that has consumed the world. The night is their domain, where they can roam freely and unchallenged. These foes come in many forms, from monstrous beasts to vengeful spirits, each one more terrifying than the last. The Tarnished must be prepared to face these dangers at every turn, for the world's darkness is as much a part of their journey as the light they seek to restore. Fact 98. The Tarnished will also face foes that are not bound by the physical world. These enemies are spiritual in nature, often haunting the Tarnished with visions of the past and glimpses of futures that may never come to pass. These spirits are the remnants of lost souls, beings that were once part of the world, but have now become trapped in an endless cycle of suffering. To face these enemies is to confront the very nature of existence itself, a battle not only of strength, but of will and understanding. These spectral foes are as much a test of the tarnished's resolve as they are of their power. Fact 99. In addition to the gods, demigods, and spectral beings, there are also mortal enemies that the tarnished must confront. These individuals may be warriors, sorcerers, or those with ties to the fractured world, each one driven by their own motivations. Some may seek to protect what little remains of the world's former glory, while others fight for personal gain or vengeance. The tarnished must decide whether these mortals are allies to be convinced or foes to be defeated. The line between friend and enemy is often blurred, and the tarnished must rely on their own judgment and instincts to navigate these complex relationships. Fact 100. Throughout their journey, the tarnished must also face the truth about themselves. The enemies they encounter, both external and internal, force them to confront the darkness within. As they battle against gods, demigods, beasts, and spirits, they also battle against their own doubts, regrets, and fears. The tarnished's greatest enemy may not be the creatures they slay or the gods they defy, but the inner turmoil that has brought them to this point. To defeat this foe is to find peace within themselves, and only then can they fully embrace their role in the world's future. Fact 101. The weapons of the lands between are as varied and complex as the world itself. From great swords to delicate staves, each weapon carries with it a history and a story, imprinted by the hands that once wielded it. Some weapons were forged by the gods themselves, imbued with divine power that echoes through time. Others have been crafted by mortal hands, shaped by the forge fires of forgotten kingdoms. The tarnished, in their quest to restore the Elden Ring, will find that these weapons are not merely tools for battle, but relics of a fractured world, pieces of a lost history. Fact 102. One of the most iconic weapons in Elden Ring is the Greatsword, a massive blade that represents both strength and legacy. The Greatsword has seen countless battles, its edge worn by the struggles of those who sought to wield it. It is a weapon not just of destruction, but of determination, symbolizing the unyielding spirit of those who fight to protect or conquer. For the tarnished, wielding such a weapon is not just a matter of strength, but of purpose. The great sword is a reminder that even in a broken world, there are those who continue to fight, who refuse to yield to fate. Fact 103. The spears and lances of Elden Ring offer a different style of combat, one that demands precision and agility. These long-reaching weapons are favored by those who seek to control the battlefield from a distance, using their range to strike with deadly accuracy. While spears may seem less imposing than great swords or axes, their speed and versatility make them a powerful tool in the hands of the skilled. For the tarnished, the spear offers a way to engage with the world from afar, to strike swiftly and decisively while maintaining a sense of distance from the chaos of close combat. Fact 104. The magic of Elden Ring is as much a weapon as any sword or axe, wielded by sorcerers and scholars who seek to unlock the secrets of the world through arcane knowledge. Magic in the lands between is not only a force of destruction, but a means of understanding the world's deeper truths. The tarnished in their journey will come across powerful spells that can alter the fabric of reality itself. These spells are both a gift and a curse, for with great power comes the potential for great corruption. Magic is a double-edged sword, offering immense strength but demanding a heavy toll. Fact 105. Shields, though often overlooked in favor of more aggressive weapons, play an essential role in the Tarnished's journey. These defensive tools are not just meant to block strikes, but to embody the resilience of the wielder. A shield can turn the tide of battle, absorbing the blows of powerful foes and protecting the vulnerable. Some shields are imbued with the magic of old, offering not only physical protection, but the ability to deflect magical attacks. For the tarnished, a shield is a symbol of their desire to protect the world they love, even as they venture into the unknown dangers that lie ahead. Fact 106. One of the most intriguing artifacts in Elden Ring is the mysterious Reduvia, a weapon whose origins are shrouded in secrecy. This curved blade, said to be crafted by ancient sorcerers, is known for its ability to cut through the fabric of time itself. The Reduvia's blade is not only deadly, but imbued with a dark magic that makes it a sought after artifact. The tarnished who wield this weapon find that it not only serves as a tool of combat, but a key to understanding the deeper mysteries of the world. The Reduvia represents the intertwining of power and forbidden knowledge, offering both strength and a taste of the unknown. Fact 107. The bow, a weapon of precision and distance, is another tool that the tarnished may find on their journey. Bows allow for silent strikes from afar, offering a way to engage enemies without drawing attention. While bows are often associated with stealth, they also carry the weight of responsibility. The archer must be patient, steady, and sure of their aim, for a single shot can determine the course of a battle. The tarnished who wield a bow must learn to rely on their senses, using the environment to their advantage. The bow is as much a weapon of the mind as it is of the body. Fact 108. One of the most unique artifacts in the lands between is the talisman, a powerful relic that can enhance the wielder's abilities or grant them protection against the world's many dangers. These talismans are said to have been crafted by the gods themselves, and each one carries a specific blessing or curse. Some talismans grant the wearer increased strength or resistance to magic, while others may provide insight into the mysteries of the world. For the tarnished, these artifacts are invaluable, offering the chance to tip the scales in their favor as they face the challenges of a fractured and dangerous world. Fact 109. The rings found in Elden Ring are another form of powerful artifact, often linked to the divine or the ancient rulers who once governed the world. These rings, once worn by kings, gods, and warriors, carry with them the weight of history. They offer a variety of abilities, from enhancing the wearer's strength to granting them protection against curses and curses. For the tarnished, these rings represent a chance to reclaim a fragment of the past, to wear the same symbols of power that once held the world together. They are relics of a time when the Elden Ring's power was whole, and they hold the potential to restore that lost unity. Fact 110. The sword known as the Dark Moon Greatsword is one of the most legendary weapons in Elden Ring, a symbol of the power once held by the gods. It is said to have been wielded by a forgotten god who used its blade to shape the very stars in the sky. The Dark Moon Greatsword is not only a weapon of immense power, but also one that is steeped in the mysteries of the cosmos. For the tarnished, wielding this sword is both a great honor and a heavy responsibility, for it connects them to the ancient forces that once shaped the world and continues to shape their destiny. Fact 111. The legacy of the Elden Ring extends far beyond its physical form. It is not merely an artifact, but a symbol of divine order and cosmic power. The Elden Ring shaped the very fabric of the lands between, dictating the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Its destruction, the shattering, has left an indelible mark on the world, one that will never fully heal. The consequences of its fracture ripple through every corner of existence, altering the course of history and leaving the tarnished to pick up the pieces. To restore the Elden Ring is to restore balance to a broken world. Fact 112. The gods who once governed the lands between were bound to the Elden Ring, their power drawn directly from its divine influence. The ring was the source of their strength and the foundation of their rule. However, as the ring shattered, so too did their authority. The once great gods, now diminished and divided, find themselves facing an uncertain future. Their once absolute rule is now fractured, and the world they once shaped is slipping away from their control. The tarnished, caught between the remnants of the gods and the forces of chaos, must decide whether to restore the gods or forge a new future for the world. Fact 113. Land itself bears the scars of the Elden Ring's fall. The once vibrant plains, lush forests, and towering cities are now in various stages of decay. The beauty of the world, once held together by the ring's influence, has faded. The Erd Tree, the symbol of the Elden Ring's power, stands as a reminder of what was lost, its golden glow dimming with the passing years. Yet even in its decay, there is a quiet beauty, a sense that the land itself remembers the glory it once held, waiting for the tarnished to either restore it or let it fade into the forgotten past. Fact 114. The tarnished, in their quest to restore the Elden Ring, are not simply fighting against external forces. They are also battling the shadows of their own past, confronting the broken parts of themselves. The world's fracture mirrors their own fractured identities, each piece of the Elden Ring a reflection of the past they cannot fully remember. The Tarnished's journey is not only one of redemption for the world, but for themselves as well. They must come to terms with who they were, who they are, and who they must become in order to fulfill their destiny and heal the world. Fact 115. The legacy of the Elden Ring is also one of destruction. The ring's power, once a force of unity and balance, has now become a weapon of chaos. The shattering unleashed forces that tore the world apart, creating rifts that have yet to be healed. The gods who once ruled with divine order are now fractured, each holding a piece of the ring's power. These fragments are not just tools for restoring balance, but sources of immense power that can be used for both creation and destruction. The Tarnished must decide whether to restore the Elden Ring or leave the world in its broken state. Fact 116. As the Tarnished move through the lands between, they encounter the remnants of the world's former glory, ancient ruins, forgotten temples, and hidden chambers that tell the story of the Elden Ring's creation and eventual fall. These relics are more than just physical structures. They are the echoes of a world that once existed in harmony. Each ruin is a puzzle, a piece of history waiting to be uncovered. For the Tarnished, these remnants are both a guide and a warning, showing them both the beauty of the past and the dangers of repeating the mistakes that led to the Elden Ring's fracture. Fact 117. The shattering of the Elden Ring did not only fracture the world physically, it also shattered the very fabric of time itself. The world now exists in a state of temporal disarray, where the past, present, and future are tangled in a web of uncertainty. The tarnished are not merely journeying through a fractured land, but through a fractured in time. They encounter beings from different eras, echoes of the past that have been left behind in the wake of the ring's destruction. To restore the ring is not only to heal the world, but to untangle the threads of time and bring order to the chaos. Fact 118. The Tarnished's quest is not just about physical survival, but spiritual renewal. The Elden Ring, before its shattering, represented the balance of life, death, and the afterlife. The world was in harmony, its cycles flowing naturally under the ring's influence. But with the ring broken, these cycles are thrown into disarray. Souls are lost, and the natural order is disrupted. The tarnished must seek not only the physical fragments of the ring, but the spiritual fragments of the world. Only by healing the world's soul can they hope to restore balance and give the world a chance at rebirth. Fact 119. The legacy of the Elden Ring is also a legacy of choice. The world, fractured by the shattering, now stands at a crossroads where the tarnished must decide which path to take. Will they restore the Elden Ring, reforging the divine order that once held the world together? Or will they let the world remain in its fractured state, forging a new path where the gods no longer reign? The choice is not simple, for the consequences of either decision will shape the future of the world. The tarnished must weigh the cost of their actions, knowing that the legacy of the Elden Ring will follow them for all eternity. Fact 120. Ultimately, the legacy of the Elden Ring is one of transformation. Whether it is restored or left to decay, the world will never be the same. The Tarnished's journey is a journey of change, both for themselves and for the world they inhabit. The world may heal, but it will be a world forever shaped by the choices made in the wake of the shattering. The tarnished, like the world itself, are forever transformed by their experiences. And in the end, it is not the restoration of the Elden Ring that matters, but the legacy they leave behind, one of hope, sacrifice, and renewal. Fact 121. The journey of the tarnished is one that has been marked by struggles, sacrifices, and hard-won victories. From the moment they first set foot in the lands between, they have been guided by a single, powerful purpose: to restore the Elden Ring or break it forever. Along the way, they have encountered friends and foes, ancient mysteries, and powerful enemies. Each step taken, each decision made, has led them closer to their ultimate goal. And now, as the end of the journey nears, the tarnished must come to terms with the choices they've made and the legacy they will leave behind. Fact 122. In the final stages of their journey, the tarnished are faced with the full weight of their decisions. The path they have walked has been fraught with challenges, both physical and moral. Now they must decide whether to seek the restoration of the Elden Ring, thus returning the world to a state of divine order, or to shatter it completely, allowing the world to break free from the constraints of the gods. This choice will shape the fate of the lands between forever. The power to heal or destroy lies in the hands of the tarnished, and the consequences of their actions will echo through eternity. Fact 123. Throughout their journey, the tarnished have been guided by the fragments of the Elden Ring, each piece offering a glimpse into the truth of the world. These fragments are not just remnants of the past, but pieces of a broken future. To restore the ring is to attempt to bring together the fractured pieces of reality itself, healing the rift caused by the shattering. But the tarnished are not only seeking the restoration of the physical world, they seek the restoration of meaning, the return of balance, and the reclamation of their own lost identities. The journey is not only external, but deeply internal. Fact 124. The decision to restore or shatter the Elden Ring is one that the tarnished must face alone. While they have had allies along the way, the final choice is theirs and theirs alone. There is no easy answer, for both choices carry the weight of immense consequences. To restore the Elden Ring is to restore the world to a semblance of its former glory, but it also means returning to a cycle that has led to the world's fracture. To shatter the ring is to create something new, but it may also lead to greater chaos. The tarnished must weigh the cost of both paths carefully. Fact 125. The world of Elden Ring is a reflection of the tarnished's own internal struggle. Every choice they make, every action they take, is a step toward understanding who they truly are. The journey is as much about self discovery as it is about saving or destroying the world. The tarnished are not merely walking through the ruins of the lands between, but through the corridors of their own heart and soul. The final confrontation, whether with the gods or with themselves, is the ultimate test of their growth, their resolve, and their capacity for redemption or destruction. Fact 126. As the tarnished approach the end of their journey, they are surrounded by the remnants of the world's once glorious past. The broken structures, crumbling cities, and shattered monuments are silent witnesses to the rise and fall of gods, kings, and civilizations. These remnants tell the story of what was, of a time when the Elden Ring held the world together, and of the cataclysm that followed its destruction. The tarnished now stand at the threshold of a new era, one that will either be defined by the restoration of the old world or the birth of something entirely new. Fact 127. The lands between, though scarred by the shattering, still holds within it the potential for rebirth. The choices of the tarnished will determine whether the world is allowed to heal or whether it will remain forever broken. To restore the Elden Ring is to bring back the divine order, to bring an end to the chaos that has defined the world since the fracture. But in doing so, the tarnished may be forced to accept the return of the old gods and the system that led to the world's destruction. To break the ring is to create a new world, but the cost of such an act is unknown. Fact 128. Throughout their journey, the tarnished have encountered not only physical foes, but the ghosts of the past, the spirits of those who once walked the lands. These lost souls, both mortal and divine, offer both guidance and warning. Some seek redemption, while others are lost in the shadows of their own regrets. The tarnished must navigate the world of the living and the dead, understanding that the spirits of the past hold the key to the future. To truly move forward, the tarnished must reconcile with the echoes of the past, accepting that only by understanding history can they shape what comes next. Fact 129. The end of the tarnished's journey is not simply a conclusion, but a beginning. Whether they choose to restore or destroy the Elden Ring, their actions will leave a lasting legacy, one that will echo through the world for generations to come. The lands between may either find peace or be cast into further chaos, but the tarnished will have played a role in that outcome. Their journey, their sacrifices, and their choices will shape the world's future, for better or for worse. In the end, it is not just the Elden Ring that must be restored or shattered. It is the tarnished themselves. Fact 130. As the tarnished stand at the crossroads of destiny, they are faced with the final, most difficult choice of their journey. Will they restore the Elden Ring, returning the world to its former state, or will they shatter it completely, allowing for a new beginning? The weight of this decision is not simply in the outcome, but in the understanding that the future is shaped by what is chosen in this moment. The Elden Ring's legacy is in the hands of the tarnished, and whatever they choose will define the world and themselves forever. Fact 131. The final confrontation in Elden Ring is not merely a battle of strength, but a test of will and purpose. Throughout their journey, the Tarnished have encountered countless challenges, enemies, puzzles, and obstacles that have tested their resolve. But in this moment, the stakes are higher than ever. They are not only facing the remnants of the Elden Ring's power, but also the consequences of their choices. The outcome of this confrontation will determine not just their own fate, but the fate of the world itself. It is a moment of reckoning where the past, present, and future collide. Fact 132. As the Tarnished approach the final battle, they are reminded of the many lives that have shaped the world: the gods, the demigods, the mortals, and the forgotten souls. Each one has left their mark on the lands between. The final confrontation is a culmination of all that has come before, a moment where the consequences of past actions are brought to light. The Tarnished must face the ghosts of the past, confronting the mistakes and victories of those who came before them. It is a reminder that every action has a ripple effect, and the final battle is the result of a world shaped by countless hands. Fact 133. The battle that awaits the Tarnished is not only against the physical remnants of the gods and their followers, but also against the forces that linger within themselves. The Tarnished have spent their journey navigating the outer world, but now they must face the inner world, the doubts, regrets, and fears that have been carried with them since their exile. The final confrontation is as much internal as it is external, as the Tarnished must conquer their own dark sides in order to succeed. To restore the Elden Ring or shatter it is a choice that reflects both the outer world and the soul. Fact 134. The true nature of the final confrontation lies in the question of what it means to restore or break the Elden Ring. To restore the ring is to return the world to a state of divine order, to heal the fractures created by the gods' conflicts. Yet this restoration comes with the cost of repeating the mistakes of the past. To break the ring is to create something new, but at the risk of plunging the world into chaos. The final battle is a choice between these two paths, each offering its own vision for the future, and the Tarnished must decide which one will lead them forward. Fact 135. As the final battle draws near, the Tarnished are confronted by the forces that would stop them from reaching their goal. These forces are not simply enemies in the traditional sense, but embodiments of the world's resistance to change. They are the remnants of the old order, the gods and demigods who have clung to their power despite the destruction of the Elden Ring. These foes represent the forces of stagnation, the unwillingness to let go of the past. The Tarnished must face not only their enemies, but the very ideas that have kept the world in its fractured state. Fact 136. The Tarnished's greatest adversary in this final confrontation may not be a physical being at all. It could be the weight of their own choices, the haunting knowledge that whatever they choose will have lasting consequences. To restore the Elden Ring is to bring back the divine order, but it is also to accept the cycle that has caused the world's destruction. To break the ring is to embrace the unknown, to sever the ties to a past that may never be healed. The true battle is within the tarnished themselves, to determine whether they are bound by the past or ready to create something entirely new. Fact 137. The tarnished in the final confrontation are not only fighting for the fate of the lands between, but for the very essence of hope itself. The world has been fractured, the gods have fallen, and the future is uncertain. Yet, despite the chaos and darkness that has taken hold, the tarnished still carry the flame of hope. This final battle is not just a test of strength, but of belief. Do they believe that the world can be restored, or is it time to let go of the past and forge a new path? Hope, even in the darkest moments, is a force that can shift the tides. Fact 138. The final confrontation is also a reflection of the tarnished's growth throughout their journey. From the moment they were exiled from the world, they have walked a path of pain, sacrifice, and self discovery. In facing their final challenge, they confront everything they have learned, the bonds they have formed, and the trials they have overcome. This battle is the culmination of their entire journey, a moment where they must reconcile with the person they have become. The tarnished's ultimate victory or defeat will be determined not by their strength alone, but by the wisdom and resilience they have gained along the way. Fact 139. As the tarnished stand at the precipice of the final battle, they are reminded of the many lives that have been affected by the shattering of the Elden Ring. The world, in all its beauty and sorrow, has been shaped by the actions of gods, kings, and mortals. The tarnished are not the only ones with a stake in this battle. The choices they make will affect the countless lives that remain in the balance. The final confrontation is a moment of reckoning, not just for the tarnished, but for the entire world, as the consequences of their actions ripple outward. Fact 140. The final battle is one of transformation, both for the tarnished and for the world. Whether the Elden Ring is restored or shattered, the world will never be the same. The tarnished will have played their part in the world's fate, and their choices will shape the future in ways they cannot yet fully comprehend. The world will either return to its former glory or be forever changed, but the tarnished's legacy will remain, a reflection of their courage, their decisions, and their willingness to face the unknown. The final confrontation is not just an end, but a new beginning for both the tarnished and the world they sought to heal. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of Elden Ring. As the tarnished stand at the crossroads of destiny, with the fate of the lands between resting in their hands, may you find peace in the choices they make, both within the world and within themselves. Whether they restore the Elden Ring or let it fall into shadow, their journey will leave a lasting mark on the world, just as we all leave our own marks on the stories we live. May your own path be one of reflection, hope, and quiet strength. Rest now with the knowledge that each journey, no matter how fractured, is a step towards something new. Good night, and may your dreams be filled with peace.